There is a sort of dream or trance that creates an image of continuity. I'm here and the breath comes and goes, thoughts come and go, but I'm here. Is that true? Or is it true that consciousness comes into being with every moment? This breath comes with its own consciousness. Consciousness arises with the object. It's not something we can think our way into. None of the deep realizations have anything to do with thinking. Thinking references them, remembers them perhaps, but we are practicing bare attention. Come home to this body. Every breath is like a beacon. Every thought is like a beacon, for that matter. Every experience, every perception is worthy of attention, because they all sing the same song of impermanence. The very first time we sit down to meditate, the truth is there. It's hard to see, though, because we're lost in fantasy and ideology and opinions. Breathing in and breathing out. We might, particularly if the mind has got a lot of restlessness, we can add a strategy from the Mahasi Sayadaw in Burma. It's called noting. And with the cognitive capacity of mind, we can just point at the experience. Little notes, rising, rising, falling, falling. When the mind wanders, wandering, wandering, returning, returning. If sloth and torpor is manifesting, sloth, torpor. If the mind is restless and agitated, restless, restless. So we don't go to war with any of these states. There's plenty of war in the world. We don't need to add to it. If the mind is filled with greed and longing and acquisitiveness, greedy, greedy, or wanting, wanting. And the same with wanting not wanting. And there's this old friend, the metronome of the breath. And so we rest back into now. Into in-breathing and out-breathing. It is life transforming to recognize that there's only now. And what is now? It's this breath, this thought, this memory, this mood. This is the moment in which love happens, where there's room for everything. It's not dependent on somebody else. And so we come with a richness of heart, a generosity, a gratitude to this moment right now. There is an exquisite symbiosis in which the cells of our body metabolize sugars, produce carbon dioxide, also heat and consciousness, or they support consciousness somehow. And the body breathes in and it brings in oxygen that has been breathed out by the trees, by the plankton, by the mosses. Trees build their leaves, their bones, their branches from carbon dioxide. We build our bones. We build our lives from oxygen. And so we're observing with the coming and going of the breath that we are interbeing with all of life. We borrow water and we borrow calcium. And we borrow vitamins. We borrow all kinds of things. And then we let them go. Or they have their own life of coming and going. And so we say something, when we say something on the in-breath like, may all beings be happy. Or on the in-breath, may I be happy. On the out-breath, may all beings be happy. It's a way of reminding ourselves of our utter interconnectedness. Interconnectedness isn't even an adequate word, our utter interbeing. I'm going to share my screen with you for a moment. Yesterday they completed the stairs. These are the stairs that go up here, and then this is the Dharma hall inside here. The ramp goes this way, starts here, I think, and then goes up to the living room, and then goes over here, and then comes back up here to the door to the Dharma hall. And then this, those of you that know PIMC will recognize it as the pass-through between the Dharma hall and the living room. And this is a steel door for which they had to cut into the masonry of the building exterior and build a wood frame. And then this is a 2-hour fire-rated door. They claim that fire could rage in here for 2 hours and it would not make it through this door, which would mean that the Dharma hall wouldn't get the living room on fire. That's a that's a $9,000 door. Quite an amazing thing. The present challenge, it's amazing how little things can be a big deal. I suppose that's true in life too, everywhere. We have to have new railings everywhere in the building. And they have to be to code a certain height. And at the bottom of every railing, it has to go out horizontally for 1 foot. And then at the top, it has to go out horizontally for 1 foot. And makes it a little complicated. Also, fastening it to the concrete is requiring an engineering company manufacturing those fasteners specifically for us. And that could delay our opening by a week, or we don't know. But it's coming. It really is shaping up. Thanks for being here this morning. I feel much saner than when I joined you this morning. Not saner, but the mood is much better. Much better. Look at that. The mood is less unpleasant. I have a message from Candle to you, to all of us. She says, I'm wrapping up the last term of my Women's Restoration and Rejuvenation. The next term is January to April and is available for sign up through the digest. It's not on the website yet. With everything happening with the building and so on, we're not keeping up with everything. Also, she has Sunday night Insight and Metta this week as well, this Sunday. And the Women's Restoration Gathering, it's 4 Fridays over 4 months, is for those who self-identify as women or are non-binary. So, there's that. Jim is teaching on Saturday morning from 9 to 1. Save the evening of the 4th of January for a marvelous listening experience. There'll be more about that in the digest. If you're not on the listserv, the PIMC email list, I encourage you to do that. You can do that by going to the website. Or write Avi at portlandinsight.org. I guess one other thing. I've been having a lot of fun with Christmas gifts. We're quite moderate here around that. I really take delight in getting things that people will be both a little surprised at and also notice, oh, you were paying attention. Giving, dana, generosity. It's such a great feeling. I mean, it's the feeling. This, I let go. And we have begun our end of year fundraising for the operations of PIMC. And it's a really golden opportunity. If you'd like to bask in the delight of giving and want PIMC to be on the receiving end of that. And it's not even so much PIMC, it's all the people who come here. It's this. And as some of you know, sometimes people walk in the door really bleeding psychically, lost and desperate. And in a little while, they find that their feet are underneath them and their hearts are healing and they're letting go of the suffering of relationships that have gone bad, or children who are being rejecting, or parents who have gone into dementia. This is an amazing teaching. It transforms human lives. And it does require our support. So I encourage you, think about it. At the end of the year, or now, today, and there's a way to think about dana that I really like. This was recommended to me years ago, and I've practiced it many times. Don't do it unconsciously. If you're going to write a check or pay something online or something, take 5 minutes at least and sit with it. How does it feel to do this? And the primary guidance, I think, is give until your heart feels full. And another that I have followed for most of my adult life is figure out how much I can give and then give a little more. So there's just that little bit of, oh, no. So we come up against the insecurity of it. And of course, from Marshall Rosenberg, please fulfill my request only if you can do it with the joy of a small child feeding a hungry duck. So this is not onerous. It's done with delight. Okay. And about you, how about you? What's happening in the 10,000 joys and sorrows and the great successes and failures of life? One last thing. The holidays are prone to profound disappointment because they never live up to the fantasies. So why not accept it and enjoy the beauty that's there? And notice the fantasies that you have. I've been through, I don't know, I've had 3 long relationships with women and children, and I no longer sweat the Christmas tree at all. I set the thing up. I put on the lights maybe, but they're going to do it their way. Every family has their own way of doing it, or not doing it, and I have almost no suffering about it anymore. It's like, well, there they are fighting about how to place the stupid balls on the tree. Who could care less? But it's okay if they do. And what's for dinner on Christmas? Well, it should be a this or that, but it isn't. Who cares? Or this child is fighting with that child, and so they can't both come. It's just the way it is in countless homes. All right. What's up with you? Hello, Neil. I'm really well now. Thanks for the moment. And you, how are you? Uh-huh. What kind of a business is it, Neil? Huh. How long? And you created it and you've been running it for a while? Oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, if I were there, I'd hug you. And I think let's how would we do a virtual hug? Here it comes. Here's mine. Look, I think this there. You getting it? You know the way with kids we do this mwah, smack. So what a hard thing. And I guess I want to say something about the ways you are, quote, failing to live up to your highest ideals. That's how we learn. You know, there isn't a person on this screen who doesn't blow it. And that's the reason we have the precepts and we have the aspiration to be kind in all circumstances. And sometimes a primitive part of us can get poked and we can go for the jugular. Or we get depressed and go for our own jugular. So I think have mercy on your. My advice would be have mercy on yourself that you're not a Buddha yet. He's made he's made it a lot harder. That whole ethos is changing the world, actually, as though that's an acceptable way to speak. Yeah. You know, Neil, on the in the have you been around when I've talked about the 12 steps of dependent origination? You know how it goes. There's contact, feeling, craving, grasping, becoming, birth. You know, you become a person who's spoken angrily. You become a person who's been shaming. Mindfulness is still very operable, active there, and we notice the process. Oh, this happened, this thought happened, this feeling happened, this impulse happened, and I still did it. And then we can sidetrack ourselves. We can say, well, what's wrong with you that you haven't got this together? And that's another cycle. But we can also stop and realize, oh, look at that. I see how the cycle worked. Huh. And then gradually what happens is we work our way back to catching it sooner and having more spaciousness, and then we stop doing it. But the only way we learn about these patterns is through doing them and watching how remarkably unconscious we are, but bringing mindfulness into it. Is that making sense? That it isn't a failure to say some shaming, angry thing. It's watching the pattern, and then we gradually work it back to the impulse to do that, and then we get to hold on to the impulse. I shared this poem with somebody yesterday. It speaks to this so accurately. It's called Autobiography in Five. Oh, there it is. I had it. I closed it. By Portia Nelson. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm hopeless. It isn't my fault. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it's there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are wide open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get right out. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk, and I walk around it. I walk down a different street. So I would encourage you to take heart. And it's no doubt a very difficult thing you're doing. Mm-hmm. Well, I would. You're both. I think you're both special and not. That your experience of this is poignant and painful, and you're having experiences with family members that really hurt and will be difficult to deal with for years, perhaps, or maybe till the end of your life. And that personal suffering is really painful, and it's not uncommon. But both are true. Right, right. Yeah, there's the craving. You want to do something, but you really know it's the wrong thing to do. That's a hot spot of growth. The greenhouse is really growing strongly there. Because the impulse, the wheel is rolling, and you get to hear, it's like, I want to act, and then, oh shit, I really shouldn't, huh? Well, that sucks. Do I really have to be a grown up here? I mean, really? I hate it. I hate it a lot myself. It's like, do I have to be a you up when they're not? I mean, geez. Why should that be? Why, And then, of course, you don't have to, and then you can shame and be as obnoxious as you like, and the only problem is you feel like crap afterwards. Exactly. Yep. Thank you. I'm glad you shared with us. It's Michael. Hello, Michael. That's a great idea. Would it be okay to end that way? We need to end in a few minutes, but yeah, we'll frame. Great idea. Excellent. Right. Hmm. Do you want to be happy or right? Is the saying too. Hi, Jessica. Mm. Mm. Ha. Thanks, Kathy. Lowering my expectations has succeeded beyond my wildest. That's a great T-shirt. Yeah. Forget. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I could say to that, Eileen, except it sounds like you were quite awake through a lot of it, and that's wonderful. Yeah, sure. Well, and the practice perspective on that would be, oh, here's the mind asking questions. Thank you for sharing. Back to what I'm doing. But thank you. Well, I need to go pretty soon. Anybody else sitting with something that you would like to speak? I've lost Neil. Oh, there you are. You're up in the corner for me. So let's close with an Om today, as Michael suggested. And let's hold Neil and his family in our hearts. And we start there, and then we hold everyone else in this circle of a sort. And then all beings, that this world is prone to very difficult things. So, and we'll end with a gong, okay? And feel the Om vibrating in your heart and then all the way up through your throat and into your forehead and into the crown of your head. Om. 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 Have a good day, Neil. Be nice to yourself. Thanks, David. Hello, Darcy. Bye, friends. Here we go. Bye-bye. I'm sorry to you folks on YouTube and Facebook. I don't know what happened, that I lost the signal from the Zoom meeting. And please know you could join us on Zoom anytime. You just have to go to robertbeatty.com and get the link. So